Hello, everybody. It's Susan Phelps.
And Judy Atari.
And today we're going to give you an update on the market in the Sarasota and Manatee area for January 2023.
And we're going to answer some burning questions.
We had two questions from two viewers on our last video. So we have some information for you, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Good job, Judy. Okay, so what's changed in our market in January of 2023?
Really, I'd say probably the amount of activity, but a lot of things are quite similar.
Yes, but probably the increased activity is a result of the increased inventory.
Yes.
So we have seen a 400% increase in inventory. Doesn't that sound amazing?
Woo!
But when you consider we didn't even have 2 months of inventory, hey,
yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah.
We're back up to
3.2 months.
3.2 in Manatee County, and in Sarasota it's about the same but a little lower. 2.7 for condos and 2.8 months supply for single family homes. So,
and I think part of the Manatee is more builders are putting stuff in MLS and we have more available new homes.
I know, I wish we could
happening.
tease that apart.
Yeah.
So that we could, we could, but it would take us a couple of days.
Yeah.
And so,
I think resales are about the same. They're out there, but there's not a ton. Like I have a new listing in a neighborhood and there's one other listing about to come on. And that's it for
right.
2,000 homes.
Right.
So.
Well, we're looking at a almost combined effort here from sales, from builders because they're adding more, and from resales because they are going up some.
Yep.
So that helps with buyers that want to come into the market, either return to the market or come into the market, and it gives them more options and less competition.
Right.
We are not seeing that frenzy, except in that lower price point.
Right. So I've been working with some buyers in South Sarasota who are in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, more $300,000 to $350,000, and they are missing out on deals, and they're bidding a little over, not 50,000 over, but 5,000 over, 10,000 over, and some of those people are still missing those deals.
One thing that we have to keep coming back to is that the national stats that are reported by CoreLogic or whoever, Realtor.com or
and
whoever.
And national news.
Right. They're saying that the market is tanking in different places. And do you know, I get a comment from this one investor that keeps pinging us and telling us that the market is tanking here and the market is tanking there. And I keep writing him back and say, well, it's just not happening here.
No.
So I said, be sure you watch our next video and we'll explain.
Yep.
So
I know I have been busy.
Right.
Yes.
And it's
thankfully very appreciative.
It's right. It's a demand issue.
Yeah.
Our area is so much in demand.
Yep.
So what else, Judy? What's going on in Manatee? We're gonna drop this in so that you can see the stats. Let's just go down those.
One thing I was going to mention, though, we were talking beforehand, is about the cash buyers. So people are like, well, has cash buying, has that way down? Have people exhausted that? The people from we saw an influx of New York and California and states like that did a lot of cash in 2021 and 2022. And it's about the same. In Manatee County, we're looking at the stats, it was about a third. And Sarasota, I think it was similar. So we're still seeing cash buyers. The ratio is still about the same. So that hasn't changed.
Okay. So let's just go down the list here for Sarasota County. Here again, we have a decrease in the number of sales, but we don't have a decrease in the median price.
Correct.
It's not going up like it was in 2020, 21, 22, but we're seeing a stable price in the market. Nobody's really dropping prices. too much. And the time to contract is extending still.
A little bit.
We're up to 29 days for single family homes and 19 days for condos. So we're still looking at a healthy market in our area.
Very much so, very much so. Manatee County, our closed sales were down about 30%. And our median sales price, like you mentioned though, our median sales price was up 5.4%. So the median sales price in Manatee County was a little over $505,000. And our average sale price is also up 5.8% for an average sales price of $650, a little over $650. So that's kind of the numbers there. And our time to contract is about 32 days. So
okay.
that's up. A year ago it was 7 days.
Right.
So we couldn't write contracts fast enough last year. And so 32 days is still not bad. That's a healthy, normal market. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. So that's good.
Okay.
And median time to sale is 81 days over 50 days. So that's when the closing date happens.
Right. So it's really important that you consult an experienced realtor. And we've talked about the hyper-local market, and we're hyper-focused
Yes.
in the new home sales market. We both know our county markets really well, but when it comes to the new home sales, I mean, we're really zeroing in, and we're able to eliminate a lot of
Right.
unnecessary time wasting activities when we get someone that's interested in a new home community.
Yep. Yep. Like we mentioned on the last video, we may ask you a lot of questions, but we're really trying to narrow it down because there's a lot going on out there.
Right.
So, and I was going to say one thing too, is that our pending inventory pending inventory is about the same as last year, which is kind of funny. It's up about 7%, but it's not crazy either. So,
Right.
yeah. But our inventory's up.
Inventory's up. So that's it for our statistics for January. And we'll, keep doing this every month so you can track. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter. That's what I cover in my newsletter every month, is what's going on in the market. We'll have the ability to get you hooked up to our new home source pro sites that will allow you to just look anywhere in the U.S.
Yep.
at new home communities so that you can see what the new home market is doing. And if you're doing resales, we can hook them up for that too, because we've got the MLS in both counties and spreading out so that
And
we can...
we can connect you to with our agent in your area. Our Berkshire
Right.
network is vast.
Right.
So, we can add little notes like this is what they're looking for, this is who they'd like to work with. And yeah, I've been really happy with who my referrals have gotten to work
Oh
with.
my gosh, let me tell you what I have going right now with a new home buyer here, and I referred to a BHH at Berkshire Hathaway agent in Bridgeton, New Jersey. He told me yesterday that they got 27 offers for his house.
And over, right? Asking?
And then the end result was $95,000 over the asking price. So that's still happening
Yeah,
in
it's
different
still-
pockets
yeah.
in the U.S.
Yep. Colorado Springs, I have a customer relocating there, and it's still a very hot market.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of activity out there.
So we look for referral agents that are hyper-focused, hyper-local.
Right.
And she went through the whole house. She gave him some suggestions. He followed through. Bingo.
There we go.
Within a week, 27 offers. That was amazing.
Yeah, very cool. One thing I've had some questions on, and we've had some other questions we'll talk about.
Oh, sure.
Is people ask, well, how is the distressed market? Do I have opportunities to pick up a distressed home,
Right.
meaning something that's in foreclosure?
Yeah.
Or a short sale?
Yeah.
And we aren't seeing much of that.
No.
In Manatee County, we had 0 short sales last year and 0 short sales this year in January. For Sarasota County, there were 2 short sales in 2022, 0 in 2023. So
That's
nothing
amazing.
there.
I mean, I cut my teeth on short sales.
Yeah. So
And foreclosures in '05 through 11. It was, yeah.
Yep.
That's really good.
Yep.
That means
Yep.
a lot of people are, making good decisions and sticking with it.
And I think the changes in the financial industry have prevented people from making some mistakes too. Like the way they
Absolutely.
vet customers and the way we write contracts now too.
Right.
We make sure things are buttoned up before you even get close to writing a contract.
Right.
So that's nice. In foreclosures, we had 0 in Sarasota for January, and we had 2 in Manatee County. So that's not much of the percent of transactions we're doing. So anybody looking for a short sale or foreclosure, you're gonna have to wait a lot longer.
Yeah, investors aren't having a great time this time around. So we're definitely seeing
Yep.
fewer closings that were selling for higher than the asking price as well. That was an interesting
within
statistic.
Maybe, a lot of them are still within like maybe 5%. Oh,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
down. So
Right.
they're still, if things are priced appropriately, which we've been saying for about 6 months, they're still selling.
Yeah, and the days on market are not that long.
So we had another question that you did a lot of work on. You did a lot of work on talking to builders.
We had 2 comments from our last video when we were talking about what happens if you are faced with a closing that you don't feel like you can afford because maybe your interest rates went up. Or, I'll tell you one thing that sounded really interesting to me as I did some phone calls. Okay, so I'll streamline this. Two questions from 2 viewers about what are people doing that are faced with this hardship, getting to a closing and not being comfortable with the mortgage payment. So all along we've seen quite a few builders that were buying down rates for people.
Yes.
And that was really good. I don't see that so much anymore. It's still happening
There's
with
still
Pulte.
a few doing some flex cash, and some builders are still bringing it up, saying you could use this $10,000 if they're doing it. They're reducing how much they're offering, but they're saying, yeah, here's $10,000 you can use towards closing, or you can use it to buy down your rate, your mortgage rate.
So I made some phone calls, and I didn't find any builders that were facing this problem in a big way at all. Possibly because there's still a lot of cash sales. And the ones that I did speak to said, we wouldn't not give somebody's money back to them if it was a legitimate financing situation where they could not afford it.
Right.
Now, if somebody sabotages their financing, how would they do that? Go buy a boat?
Buy a big boat, buy a big car.
Or, throw a monkey wrench in there somehow, quit their job or whatever. The lender is not going to be as lenient with trying to work it out. Now, I know of one situation where the builder lender, and this is one reason why builder lenders are sometimes best to use rather than going out and getting your own lender, is because they're tied in with this transaction in a very close way. And everybody wants it to close.
Yes, everybody involved wants it.
They want you to have your home. They want to close. They want those numbers looking good for them. So they're going to do what they can to keep that contract from failing.
Right.
I heard about one buyer that actually had $100,000 down on a house.
And what was the ballpark price of this house?
It was somewhere around 7.
Okay.
7 to 8.
Okay.
And it was, I'll just tell you, it was a Taylor Morrison situation. She felt like she had been rushed. It was during that time where people were bidding.
Right, and everybody felt rushed.
Right,
Yeah.
and it really wasn't the house that she wanted. And when it came closer and closer to her closing date, she was going to walk. She was going to walk from $100,000.
Crazy.
But somebody had on their thinking cap that day. They found a buyer for that home.
That's the key part.
That's the key part. They found a buyer that wanted that house right away. It was going to close within a matter of 2 weeks. And they maintained her deposit as a credit to use towards another Taylor Morrison home.
So they didn't give it back.
No.
They maintained it, but they made it work for everybody involved, and that buyer that didn't have 9 months to wait to build a home. That was pretty cool too.
It was a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah.
So there are those
exceptions.
Exceptions.
Yeah.
And if people are really in a bind, I knew of one situation where they actually came up with builder funds to pay for certain fees so that their closing amount wasn't so great because they just didn't have it in the bank.
There you go. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from most builders is that they're going to try and work it out.
Yeah.
They're not going to, take your money unless it's a sabotaged financing situation.
Change my mind. Well, no, that doesn't work.
Right.
But like that lady, I think bought too much house, right? She felt like she just bought too big because that's all she could get last year.
Right. So,
yeah.
And I have a new listing right now because a couple, I think I mentioned this before, in Grand Park. They decided that the house was just too big. They're snowbirds. They're going to remain snowbirds for some time. So they were considering bailing and walking away. And I said, no, let's not do that. We want this to close. You don't want to lose $77,000. And I'm sure they don't mind me mentioning this situation because now we have it on the market.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful 3-bedroom, 3-bath home in Grand Park.
And our median sales prices are up.
Yes.
So they're going to be okay.
Okay. So I did a video on that one. So check out that video for that home.
So
what else is going on, Judy?
Do we have any other questions, or were both of them about?
No, they were both about that particular, what are you going to do if you just can't afford the home that you were hoping to buy?
One thing I am seeing too is like we have had buyers that we're working with that came down a year ago with the intention of buying this summer, like a year and a half out. People that were thankfully planning. Mm-hmm. And one nice thing I am seeing is, say somebody falls in love with, I don't know, I'm trying to come up with a weird name, the pistachio tree model, whatever. Now there are often 2 and 3 choices, where last year it was like, this is the only pistachio tree model you're going to get.
Right.
And take it or leave it, and I don't care if you hate the lot, and we're not building anymore, or we can't contract anymore. And the poor builders reps were only allowed to sell one a month, no matter what it was. So we are seeing some choices now, which is nice.
Yes.
So people that might have visited last year and said, well, I really like this, but I just felt like I didn't even get a house I wanted or could be excited about. Now we're seeing people getting to choose, like, I want a water lot, I don't want a water lot. We've had more feng shui issues. I want it to face whatever direction, know. So people are being able to choose more of what they want, but it's still a time where people still have to act kind of promptly because things aren't waiting around.
Right, exactly.
I'd like to add
Inventory's not that high.
Not that high. So we're at 3 months, and I think we've mentioned before a balanced market is 6 months. So we're still kind of in the seller/builder's favor of kind of choosing what you want. So if your wish list is too long, that makes it more challenging.
Okay, so if you have any questions, comments, please drop them in the comment section below. We would love it if you subscribed.
Yep, we're having fun. We're meeting more people from these videos, so thank you for everybody who's watching and calls us and we get to work with. We're thrilled.
Right. Let us know how we can help. Until the next time, bye-bye.